Hey everyone, welcome to week 5. Already almost halfway through the term. So this week you're going to be continuing on with the technology. So you're finishing up and submitting your technology research paper. And next week, the only thing that's actually due is your technology forum response. And so you're going to use information about the research that you did for your paper, but also really looking at some different technologies that you think are interesting and just responding to the questions. So since I don't have you in class, I don't get to highlight certain technologies like robotics or the 3D printing or something like that, veneer probes that we usually go over in class. So I want you to pick just a few types of technology. You could pick off that list that I've provided for you to choose from. So let's say you decided you want to focus on real-time data. So maybe you look at some resources around that, but also pick maybe one other one to kind of explore. For instance, maybe virtual field trips, or maybe you want to look at simulations, something. And then, so in this forum, you're going to talk about 2 or 3 technologies, that you will find interesting and useful and that you might consider going forward trying to implement in your science classroom. So in addition to that, I want you to, you turned in your ideas for your STEM unit. I will give you feedback. So you're going to be finishing up creating your backwards design framework. And so I don't have you submit that. If you want specific feedback on that, you're welcome to send it to me through email and I will give you feedback, but you're going to take that and then you're going to move on to your lesson plan. So whereas last term I actually looked at that and gave you feedback on it, this term you're just using it as one of the steps in your planning process. And then you're going to take that and move on to actually creating your 3 STEM lessons that you will turn in for my class. So just a reminder that these lessons can be part of your units that you're creating for your EdTPA. They can be units or lessons that you teach in your classroom, but they are not required to be. So if, because they're STEM, they're not really fitting, or you have already got other lessons you're working on, then you don't need to teach these. This is important. You don't have to teach these, and you don't have to use these for any other purpose other than my class. But in my class, I want you to be able to and have the skills to design a STEM unit. Many of you at some point in your careers will be STEM teachers, where you actually get to do a STEM elective, a STEM after school club, or maybe you just integrate STEM into your chemistry class. Or you partner up with a math teacher to together you incorporate STEM. So I want you to have those skills, and I want you to design a really integrated kind of like, this is the cream of the crop STEM unit for my class, just to showcase your skills in that area. So keep that in mind. Even if you use these lessons for part of your unit that you're teaching for EdTPA or for your clinical site or your seminar, then you don't necessarily have to teach all of it. So maybe you teach just a couple of the lessons, but you don't get to the engineering part. That's fine. So just keep that in mind as you're planning this, that the lessons you'll turn in for me are specific to this class, and you should be thinking about those STEM activities or those STEM components that we went over in class. So like, for instance, do they incorporate careers? Do they incorporate community or outside of your classroom resources, influences, connections? Do they cover all the standards? Those are the things you're going to want to look at. So looking back on that STEM checklist that we looked at during our class on Saturday, keeping that in mind as you plan your STEM lessons. All right, so that is it for this week. Hope you're having a good week and making it through midterm. I will see you next week.